pictures or not?
No, not really. I'm not in that kind of job.
Yeah, but I mean it because you have to have small fingers and to make this really fine work.
Yeah, this is right. Very accurate. You have to be with all kind of details, doing the setup and everything. Yeah.
Also wirklich sehr, sehr filigrane Arbeit. Lars, für uns wäre das, glaube ich, nichts. So mit ganz feiner Arbeit, so fast wie ein Uhrmacher, ne?
Naja, ob das jetzt was für uns ist oder nicht, das ist Rennsport und schön zu sehen, dass das sehr technische Sachen sind, dass man hier wirklich auch wie der Mechaniker in der Boxengasse arbeiten muss. Ich kenne mich jetzt mit dem Reglement der einzelnen Serien nicht so aus, aber wenn du siehst, dass mit gefrästen Aluminiumteilen gearbeitet wird, hier hast du zum Beispiel einen Allradantrieb über diesen Zahnriemen, aber dass auch aus Gewichtsgründen, denke ich, Kohlefaserkomponenten verbaut werden, das ist schon die eine Sache. Und wenn ich mir dann, should I take this? Wenn ich mir dann so etwas anschaue, das sind dann Hilfsmittel, die kennen wir aus der Boxengasse, bei der VLN zum Beispiel in groß. Da kannst du Spur- und Sturzwerte der einzelnen Räder, der einzelnen Reifen noch mit einstellen. Spezialwerkzeug. Also ich glaube, die Jungs, die bauen schon einen halben Tag auf, bevor die das erste Mal die Strecke unter die Räder nehmen.
Perhaps one more question. How is the relation between pure driving time and working on your car?
Oh, maybe less than 1% driving.
Also er sagt, das ist ungefähr 1% fahren und der Rest der Zeit wirklich schrauben, basteln. But I think this is also what you really like, to prepare your own car.
That is 1% driving is only in the races like this, but when I go to the hobby club, I usually maybe 50% driving and 50% doing the car.
Okay, also bei normalen anderen Rennen ist es teilweise 50-50 so in etwa, aber hier wirklich sehr, sehr viel intensiv die Arbeit am Fahrzeug. Und wie der Lars das eben schon gesagt hat, sehr, sehr filigran mit Carbon, mit Einzelradaufhängung, also wirklich ganz, ganz tolle Sache. Ja, und dieser Event hier, diese RC-Cars, die werden wir morgen natürlich auch noch ein bisschen intensiver uns betrachten. Wir sehen, wie gesagt, unten die zwei verschiedenen Parcours. Wir werden da auch mit Sicherheit den einen oder anderen Gesprächspartner noch haben, werden dann noch mal fragen, welche Competition, welche Art von Wettkämpfen hier überhaupt vorhanden sind. Und alleine schon der Blick hier in dieses sogenannte Fahrerlager, hier überall mal zu schauen, wie hier gearbeitet wird, was die ganzen Jungs hier machen. Wirklich faszinierend. Hier sind so 8 Tische mit ungefähr 20 Leuten und ich weiß nicht, ob der Willi mit der Kamera, der geht jetzt mal gerne hier auch von Auto zu Auto, sich das wirklich mal genau betrachten. Und ich weiß es auch zum Beispiel vom Uwe Ball, dass der sowas ja schon seit vielen, vielen Jahren macht, was dafür wirklich Arbeit dahinter steckt und wie intensiv diese ganze Arbeit mitgemacht wird. Da unten auch jede Menge Tische, jede Menge Leute, die da wirklich an ihren RC-Cars arbeiten und dieses wirklich vorbereiten, um die Rennen hier zu machen. Wir werden es morgen ein bisschen intensiver betrachten und dann ja auch den einen oder anderen Gesprächspartner noch zusätzlich hinzunehmen. Und jetzt konzentrieren wir uns aber erstmal auf das neue Assetto Corsa Competizione und da gehen wir dann gleich in wenigen Minuten hoch zur Bühne. Dankeschön.
Yeah, yeah, Blancpain. Back on stage during the SimRacing Expo 2080. Ollie, welcome again here on the stage, and we're looking forward for a brand new release. A brand new release together with Blancpain Sprint Series, and when I look to the big screen, I think we first have to look a small video, a small clip about the things that are coming. Would you take mine?
The new Assetto Corsa competition. We still have a real strong and good relationship between Nürburgring, ADAC, SimRacing Expo, and also to the Blancpain series, to SRO. And now we have also this combination of a relationship also to Assetto Corsa. And to have a deeper look what is going on now with the new Assetto Corsa competition, we will have to discuss it with Marco Massaruto, and I would also like to welcome Mr. Stefan Rattel, the head of SRO. Very warm welcome to both of you.
Yeah, welcome on stage.
Let's take this one. Welcome, Mr. Rattel. Welcome, Mark. A few minutes ago, we spoke about the new Assetto Corsa competition. Now we have the partner from the other side, from Blancpain series. I think you told me it is a real good relationship to have now the official game of the Blancpain series. So you have to be very happy to be here together with Stefan Rattel, or not?
I could, brava, sir, it works. I could be no more happy than that, even because we just released the game 2 days ago. Just 2 days ago we released the game, after 2 years in development. And you can imagine that has been a very tough work that is not finished yet, because we have 6 months in development ahead even now, but to see the reaction of the users, of the fans, of the community, about the game is very important to us, because it's so positive, that give us the energy and the will to work at our very best to complete the game. And the early access is also very important, because we can take advantage of it to share all the feedback from the users, get information about some bugs or things that they want to see in the final version of the game, so that when arrive at the end of development on late March next year, we can bring them a game that is on the level of perfection, and we can give them, and also to Blancpain and SRO, the game that are looking for since a lot of time. So I'm very pleased to be here. After the SPA presentation, we got a lot of very good feedback for the game. That is meant a lot to us, because when we meet SRO for the first time, and we proposed them to create the official game of the Blancpain GT series, they were very happy that Kuno Simulazioni came to them to bring this proposal. So looks like it's working.
But I have one question. You both call it a game. I think it's not a game, I think it's a simulation.
Yeah, it's a simulation. We always think about the game because it's sold on Steam. That is the main digital platform for video gaming on PC. So we talk about the game. We usually say that Assetto Corsa is a professional simulator that has been brought to the gaming audience. That is exactly like that, because when we designed it in 2011, we collected all the requests from companies like Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini and others that they wanted a simulator like Assetto Corsa 1. And in creating the simulator, we also create something that was good to please a wider community of the sim racers and the sim gamers.
Stefan Rattel, SRO. Thanks to have you here. Thanks to have you on stage.
It works.
Is it true you arrived just in this time at the Nürburgring?
I arrived just now, and I'm pleased to be here for this official launch because, as you can imagine, this game is a fantastic asset and promotion tool for GT racing in general and for the Blancpain GT series in particular. We all know how, whatever it's simulation or games, but one thing is sure is that you have millions of players around the world. It's a very big industry, and it's for us to make GT racing known to a large audience and to a young audience is probably the best tool we can dream of.
What about you? You like to drive a simulation also? You're a professional in sim racing, or you say, oh no?
Unfortunately not. I'm lacking a little bit of time running around the world trying to promote racing, but when the game, I will definitely get a simulator and start playing with my son. He's coming tomorrow, and I'm sure he will help me do that.
Okay. A few minutes ago, we spoke with Mark Rizzi that the gap between sim racing and the real life racing is coming closer and closer and closer. And now we're going nearly hand in hand between sim racing and also the regular racing we see 100 meters away from here. Do you think it's going this way?
It's exactly what I said when we had the press conference at the Spa 24 Hours when they presented the first footage of the game. I said, guys, if you continue like this, we're all going to stay home in a couple of years, you know, because it's becoming so real that, you know, but I think beside the joke, I think racing is racing and simulation is simulation. It's two different things, but it's getting very close and very exciting.
Yeah. And now I think it's a perfect place to have here the Nürburgring, the SimRacing Expo, fifth time now, together with the Blancpain series, and also to have the release, the launch of the new release. I think it's really perfect combination.
Yeah, and really congratulations to Mark Rizzi and his team because they have really worked hard to make this expo work together with the Blancpain GT series, and it does work. I see it grow year on year, and I see a very good future for this combination.
Definitely, definitely. No more words needed. I think, Marco, now we have a short presentation. So about this simulation, we have a short presentation. What is brand new? What does it take? Can we start with it? What do you think?
Assetto Corsa Competizione is a completely new brand because it's not just the official game of the Blancpain GT series, but it's not just a sequel of Assetto Corsa 1. It's a completely new technology because it is also powered by the Real Engine 4. That is the choice for the AAA games. And we changed completely our approach in the way how we close the product, not just the simulation, but also the product. Because we wanted to make a product that can please a wider audience, also the new generation of sim gamers and racers that maybe don't have the chance to buy or purchase a steering wheel, and they want to start with a gamepad, and they want to be involved in sim racing. And but on the other side, we want to keep the experience as much genuine as possible and realistic as possible for the sim racers. So with Competizione, we focus not just on the physics and on the realism, but also on the competition. Competizione, of course, is an Italian term that means competition. And we'll create an overall competition also working with SRO and Blancpain next year to bring also the esports on a new level. Just the fact that when you load any track in any game mode, also in hot lap or practice, when you load the track, you can see the name of the faster guy in the world on that track with that car that push you to give you the best of you to try to be the guy. And we are creating a rating system that will be very effective in the way how it helps the drivers to understand how to improve, where to improve their driving techniques, their lap times, and so on and so on. So what we want to do is not just to release a game on a season, but to bring a new model in the way how we produce sim racing. Another very new things we did is about the early access program, because we wanted to thank the community, the overall community that with Assetto Corsa 1 supported us so much. So in the first release of Assetto Corsa Competizione, we provide also a pricing that is very, very good, because allowed everyone to get a game and to have to join the beta and to get the final version of the game with no additional charge, and is working a lot. Assetto Corsa Competizione in these 2 days is the most sold game on Steam. That is very important, not just for the revenues, but also because collecting a wider community makes the sim racing even better and even important for more people than just a niche of users.
I think we have in a few minutes the chance to look some professional drivers, because when I look here around, I see from Assetto,
yes,
no, from Grassa Racing, the guys who compete this weekend in Blancpain series. And I think we can invite the driver here on the stage, and maybe we have a few simulators later on. They can take a seat. Or what do you think, Ollie?
Yeah, but I think first of all we should have a short view at the trailer.
I think, yeah.
We have a real good trailer, and I would say
if we can send the trailer again, if possible.
Thank you very much.
Very, very perfect with all the weather conditions, and you can drive in the middle of the night like the 24-hour race here and on other tracks. But look at this. In one row, we have professional drivers, 4 professional drivers. Is that right? Maybe I invite you to come.
So please come to the stage. Yeah, these are the drivers of the Grassa Racing team. All drivers with Lamborghini, and what Marco told us before, that there was a, oh, it's okay, so okay, that it was a real good relationship with Lamborghini, also with Pirelli, and now we have 4 professional drivers. So I would say, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ezequiel Companc. I drive the 19 Grassa Racing Team Lamborghini, and yeah, this season I've been doing Blancpain endurance and sprint, and also GT Masters. So yeah, really enjoying my time with the team. I think we're doing a mega job, and yeah, really happy to be here to test the Assetto Corsa new game. So really, really happy.
Yeah, I think the competition will start in a few minutes, because you
already start competition.
Yeah, we already start the competition, but here at the simulators later on in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrea Caldarelli, and I'm a Lamborghini factory driver together with Mirko and Christian. I drive this weekend with Eze on the 19, and usually I share the car 633 that you see on the game, together with these 2 gentlemen here.
So, next year.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, only speak louder.
Okay, sorry. Very close to the mouse. Hi everyone, my name is Mirko Bortolotti. I'm Lamborghini factory driver, and yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for the invitation. It's a really special moment for us because, as Andrea said, our car, the 63 Lamborghini Huracan GT3, is featured in the game, and yeah, we are really motivated to drive our car, yeah, to drive our car in the game. It's quite a special feeling. So, yeah, I think the game is really, really cool and really special. I hope you guys like it as well. And yeah, it's your turn.
It's your turn. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, hi, my name is Christian Engelhardt. I'm also a Lamborghini driver. And actually this morning, or not this morning, but yesterday morning, I already had the opportunity to drive a little bit. The other guys did not, so I hope I have a small advantage. If I would have known that we would drive here before we came here, I would have done probably 100 laps, but like this I only did 10. I hope it's enough.
Yesterday you said only one. You said only one yesterday, now it's 10 laps.
So I think we have a small competition later on. You have the chance to drive 20 minutes, each one of you in a simulator, and then we have one hot lap later on, only one hot lap. You know the track, all the guys. We start in the Coca-Cola corner, and then the hot lap begin. And
let's go straight to one hot lap.
Yeah, and no. First 20 minutes, I think we want to look over your shoulder. And Ollie, I heard we have a very, very special commentator for this competition.
Yes, of course. It is Mr. or Sir John Watson, Formula One driver a few years ago. Yeah, welcome. I think he's the record holder in the Formula One. He was the only one who had made this fantastic race starting from 22 and wins the race 1982 in Long Beach, I think it was. Really amazing.
Five victories. Nice to have you here. Thanks a lot. And I think we need one who can prepare the simulators, because each of the 4 drivers, they get one. We have 4 and 5, 6 and 7. For each of you, 20 minutes. And then you can show.
Let's see what's going on.
What you can show tomorrow and on Sunday.
Good luck.
Gentlemen, start your engines. So, welcome to Mr. John Watson. Sir John Watson, nice to have you here at the Nürburgring. I think you was also a driver who did Formula One at the Nordschleife, the legendary Nordschleife. I think it was an amazing event, wasn't it? 3 times. Okay, wonderful.
Always jumping. That way.
I think we should bring you a microphone.
Oh.
Hello. This is an amazing event. I've never been to anything like it in my life. I know Bruce Jones, who will be sharing the commentary with me during the period when the 2 Grasser Racing team drivers will be trying to replicate what they do on the racetrack with, I mean, an unbelievably impressive sim game. Their task on Saturday and Sunday, I can assure you, is going to be much, much easier than that they're going to face tonight. And I suppose, Bruce, you and I are going to have maybe a little bit of poking fun, maybe. Try to be serious. But
I hope so, John.
Fun at the 4 guys, because I know they're going to, you know what, with a screwdriver.
Of course. They will do what they do. They're racers after all. So as we've heard those famous words, gentlemen, start your engines. Will the 4 drivers up there get ready to impress, but most importantly, get ready to beat their teammates, because that's what it's all about. Okay, ready to go?
Okay, now we just see that the drivers, the Lamborghini factory drivers, are still preparing their cars. I think Mirko Bortolotti has chosen his own car, the number 63 Lamborghini Huracan GT3 with the new Assetto Corsa Competizione. Christian Engelhardt just preparing also his seat, and he's just waiting. Oh, we see wonderful pictures of the Nürburgring here right at the screen. Oh, and then now we're just in this area here, preparing all simulators now.
Okay, as we can see, the drivers are now being placed into their simulators, getting to learn all the controls. On the left-hand side of the stage, number 4, Christian Engelhardt, number 5. Just to the left of the middle of the stage is Mirko Bortolotti. And their comrades in arms, Ezekiel Perez-Companc, Andrea Caldarelli, to the right-hand side of the main stage. And from what we can see, John, already, the graphics are absolutely phenomenal in this game, and I can't wait to see how it unravels as they go out around the circuit. 20 minutes of practice, but Christian Engelhardt, being the racer, said, let's go straight into the Super Pole. I think he's the one who has been practicing.
And I've no doubt that he has, and I'm sure the others have had a little look at some version or other of a sim race situation. But what stood out to me, as soon as I saw what I thought were actually pictures that we had commentated on from live feeds in previous events, was actually the product, the simulation of a Blancpain sprint or endurance event. I mean, it is just remarkable, the detail, the quality of it, and the accuracy.
Well, what we just saw was an amazing bit of footage which showed a car cornering while being as if rotated around by a camera, which is just, that is like rubbing your stomach and patting the top of your head at the same time. Too difficult to comprehend.
While we're watching these images, Mirko Bortolotti was actually trying to adjust the height of the steering column, steering wheel. You talk about the consummate professional racing driver, even in a game like this. I mean, this is meant to be fun, but it's taken seriously. And he wants to have everything that he's got his hands on, the foot controls, the hand controls. You can see him putting on the gear change, the little pedals. The movement is simulating what you would feel if you were driving that car, or as he will feel driving his car on Saturday and Sunday. And the steering inputs, the kickback, he's a left foot braker, as you can see, so flat out on the throttle, now off the throttle, on the brakes, very, very quickly adapting, because most drivers today, in one form or other, use simulation for preparation to come to an event, whether it's coming to Nürburgring. But look, the quality is just, I mean, I wish it was I hope it's going to be like this tomorrow, as bright and clear as we're seeing on screen here.
Yeah, lovely dry track, but entirely so. Every opportunity you can take to get out there on a simulator has to be taken, because if you're not doing it, your rivals are. So they do know this, but the graphics are just really hitting me in the face. This rendition of the Nürburgring is just mighty. And I wonder how much grip he can feel through the simulator. That's one of the things over the years has changed and changed and changed. The feedback to the driver just has become phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that the sophistication now that's available to teams and drivers, you can generate certain kind of loads and feedback. If you don't have that, then of course you're turning the wheel and you don't really know whether it's turning until you can see then the actual image on your screen. But when I've driven simulators a number of years ago, I found it disorienting. All these drivers here today, before they probably ever got behind the wheel of a proper race car, are using simulation of some form or other back at home or some kind of club or whatever.
But I think it's not just that they can see what they're doing, but because of this, they can absolutely feel what they're doing. It gives them that sort of native feedback that makes them such good racers. Balance and is it all tracking that a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, up at turn 15, then into the final turn 16, on to pit straight. Key corner, of course, Bruce, on the 5.1 kilometre Nürburgring. It's the Grand Prix circuit. It's not the green hell, the old Nordschleife. So down pit straight, probably almost as quick as anywhere on the circuit, other than the dog leg straight in the back. But here, the trick is to get into turn 1 and not overrun it. Very easy to make a mistake, under braking to turn 1. And then you're going to be balancing the car here on the steering wheel and on the throttle, not abusing the tyre, because if you use your tyre, then the downside is you'll run out of grip and tyre before you come to the end of your given stint. But very, very quickly, Mirko Bortolotti is adapting to this simulation. I mean, running wide on the exit of turn 4, so that's the real thing. They will be doing this for real come tomorrow and then Sunday.
And I must say, looking at the big screen, I always want to reach in and brush that Alcantara suede top of the dashboard. It's absolutely mighty. There's so much information to take out through the display.
The second lap for Bortolotti, much better through turn 5, I think it was in turn 6, down into the bottom of the hill, that overran under brakes. So he's got bits of the circuit where he's made corrections, overran coming down the hill, downhill braking, of course, so you're carrying speed, you're braking, the nose is going down, the back's coming up, and you don't want to be turning the wheel aggressively, you don't want the back end to snap away. Up through the Schumacher Essence, You could see having to make a small correction. I think he should be in 5th gear here. He's not going quick enough at this point, but no doubt he'll pick up speed as he gets a little bit more experience with the simulation.
I mean, that knock off the top of the curb, it was just too much, but instant correction to expect for a driver to go standard through one of the pink. I mean, I just love the fact that nothing has been skipped on the graphics to the left of the screen or where the more slightly goes on towards Hansen, back. It's all there to be seen if you can take it in. There's so much information on the screen for people to pick out that really they can analyse their own laps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of, I would say, ignorant of sim racing. I know that this year, sim racing has become a major growth, you might call it an industry. So they're fast at the session, 2 minutes and 1.8 seconds. I would expect that to come down pretty rapidly. If you imagine what they were doing today, there was, I think, 54 was the best. The lap record was 56, but that's a lap record which is set in race conditions. The quickest lap would be much quicker than that, because that would be done in qualifying context with fresh rubber, low fuel, and of course you're focused on just a single quick lap. Danger, of course, watching what Mirko's doing, he's now beginning to push it harder, maybe overdriving as a consequence. So he might feel that actually it's one of these situations where you want to be slightly slower into the corner, get your apex, then get on the throttle earlier, rather than trying to rush up into the corner, hard on the brakes, turn the wheel, and then overshoot.
Yeah, I think at the moment he's taking the sort of late 70s Gilles Villeneuve approach to pushing beyond and then coming back. Because let's see how he manages down to the bottom of the hill to the hairpin. We saw him last lap going in too deep. This is a little bit better. On the left of the screen, Andrea Caldarelli, you can see how much his driver's seat is shaking around on the sim. He's trying to keep it all as steady as he can. Look at the concentration.
It's the concentration. I mean, I call Mirko Bortolotti, the number 63 Lamborghini driver, Mr. Never Blinks. Andrea Caldarelli hasn't blinked in the last, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You imagine not blinking and how much you do it unconsciously. Well, look at his face, look at the depth of concentration. And he's being sort of shaken and bumped around. You expect it in your race car, but here you're sitting in an exhibition centre behind the wheel of a simulator. I mean, utterly and totally different kind of context.
But I think one of the interesting things is how they, at this point, they're not thinking they're on the sim anymore. They're probably thinking, I'm in a racing car, I have to do everything exactly the same way. I've got to try and harvest any information I can get, and the more accurate, obviously, it is for them, the better. But I don't think they're really differentiating at this point, because it is so incredibly accurate. Mind you, it's a bit cooler.
So this is on board with Andrea Caldarelli.
So
I
he's
think,
brought his time,
time down to 2 minutes. So there has been an improvement, significant improvement. But I think just watching what we're seeing from our commentary position, and of course what the drivers are seeing on the screens that are surrounding them, is that it is going to be, whoa, 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 whoa. I was going to say slow in, quick out. That was a case of, well, the back end got away. The old pendulum effect, which of course we see frequently in racing, where once the back end loses adhesion, there's not an awful lot that you're going to do. And of course, a GT car weighing just over 1,000 kilograms, a lot of momentum. Once it goes, it's difficult to get it back into control.
Yeah, and quite a lot of camber on the corner just there where he wants to be. Again, very good shot looking up from the footwell. Reminds me of those very early shots from the 1970s of rally drivers, Sandro Minari's dancing feet on the Col de Torini and his Lancia. But now it's Ezekiel Perez-Companc.
Again, it's the focus and concentration. I love watching the eyes. We get this sometimes when we have onboard cameras in any of the cars that we're going to be covering on Saturday and Sunday, looking forward, or in this case, looking backwards into their eye, and just to see them again, how little blinking. That just is an indication how much depth and concentration they're actually having to put into this.
Interesting there, you can see Ezekiel looking at his screen. He's on the straight, he was looking up to the big screen above him as well and just smiling. This is such a good time, but at that point it was a less critical part of the circuit. He was able to do that thing they call blink.
But one thing that's evident to me is here are 4 drivers, totally different. Two from Italy, one from Germany, one from Argentina. And they've all got one thing in mind, that's to be quickest. Now, who is quickest in the real car in real time is a mute subject, but being quickest in this instance, in the simulation interest, it would be interesting to see which of the 4 actually comes out on top. Well, and there may be a few bruised egos, because you don't want your teammate or your co-car pairing to be quicker than you.
No, exactly so. It gives you a bit of momentum into the weekend. They've had the day on the track, 2 practice sessions from Blancpain. sprint finale already under their belt. 2 sessions run in nice dry conditions. They've got dry conditions here. And again, I bet they're all thinking, okay, we've worked out the level of grip we've got in the dry. What's it going to be like when we come to wet weather on the sim game?
Well, I'm just looking at the steering wheel, and there are adjustments on the steering wheel. Now, if there is wet weather, one of the things you can do on any of the GT3 cars that are racing here this weekend is you're going to adjust the ABS braking system, but likewise you're going to adjust the traction control. I haven't seen any of the 4 competitors so far start to make an adjustment, what the adjustments available are on the wheel. Whether they actually make any difference or not, I don't know. But the sophisticated simulators that are currently in use by teams around the world, you do make a difference. The whole point is being able to simulate what you're doing on the racetrack.
Yes, and in fact I think it's right. It's quite a hidden element of particularly Grand Prix teams, how much time and how much benefit they get from the young driver who's back there. But now they're bringing on people. I met someone earlier this year who won a sim competition. He's now a sim test driver for one of the Formula 1 teams. What an amazing promotion. And now they've said, to help you get further knowledge, go and race a car as well. So that's been a really, really worthwhile input of a few thousand hours.
Yeah, I mean, the principle of sim racing and racing a race car, the two things are getting so close together, they're almost overlapping one another, and as more and more sophistication comes in to the sim racing products, I mean, and this is onboard scoring or timing, I mean, it is phenomenal. I mean, I'm a virgin when it comes to all this kind of technology. I mean, I had a look down just behind where we are now, down to the radio control racing hall. I mean, I just stood there in amazement. I mean, those people are doing, in effect, a sim race, but with actually a model car. So this is difficult. The other thing is, I think, just mind-blowing.
I think it's a big question, John, that you don't have to understand the technology. I tend to just appreciate it, but there will be some people who just absolutely love to know how a set of course has been put together, how many years it takes to develop, what elements came easily, which ones they've really had to work at to get the level of realism, which is, frankly, mind-blowing.
Well, the thing that stands out to me as being so realistic is watching the hand movements from the drivers. So 159 with the last lap, and just you see those small little bits, because the steering wheel, when you're holding it, isn't always still in your hands. It can hunt around a little bit because of irregularities on the track surface, the width of the front wheel and tyre, having to make very snap adjustments to balancing the car on the steering and on the throttle. You can see coming through 2 into turn 3, and then the turn 4, which is a key corner on this 5.1 kilometre circuit. Good exit this time out of turn 4, then the run down into turn 5. It's one of those heavily cambered corners down to the left. More about getting the car positioned, not for 5 as much, but here into turn 6, because again, it's an exit that you have to get right to get the run down the hill into turn 7, the hairpin bend at the lowest part of the circuit.
So Christian Engelhardt's working very, very hard indeed. King of race starts last time out at Hungaroring, so he's obviously going to be looking for an edit. I'd love to see him do a standing start. Do you
know why he was a king of starts in Hungaroring?
You tell me.
Because as the lead rows came up to under the red lights, at the point the lights went green, or the flag fell, whichever it happened to be, the front 2 rows actually were on their brakes, because I've seen a replay from Christian Engelhardt's car, and you can see the lights of the front 2 rows coming on, and he was on it, and that, I thought he had anticipated the start, but it was a perfectly legitimate, clean start. He just was on the throttle while the front 2 rows were on their brakes.
He must have loved the look of those brake lights.
It ain't rocket science,
nope.
That's for sure.
Well, you take your moment. So again, looking at the back, you can see how these simulator rigs are moving sideways, up and down, forward and back, really working hard. And again, the suspension on the driver's seat, transferring a lot of that information up into that most important driver's element, the back side, John.
Well, every part of your body is a big nerve receptor. So feet, hands, your torso, I mean the seat of your pants literally, but also your entire trunk, your whole body is receiving information that the car's sending through every aspect of it as the car makes its way around a racetrack. And some people are much more receptive to it than others. And I mean, if you look at the greats of any category, of any form of motorsport in the world, they always had that ability, a good feel. You're just not somebody who can nail the throttle and just hang on for grim death.
Much, much tidier line than we saw early in the session. All of them, of course, with extra laps now are starting to improved their route around the course out of the Mercedes arena. Very tidy. I think that was still Christian Engelhardt we're on board with. Working way down the hill, so they learn very, very quickly indeed. Obviously, they've been out on the real thing on the circuit twice today, but again, it's the level of feel that they can start to trust in this sim. How accurate is it? And really, half a dozen laps in, I think they're getting on top of it.
Well, being somebody who is sort of from old school, when I'm talking about old school, when we raced on the North Schleifer, and you see where technology has evolved, first of all, in the real race car, but equally in the simulation. That if you can bring these two together, amalgamate them in a way where you could, in effect, do something which was never really possible when I began racing, which is to train a driver, you know, a boy or a girl, or it doesn't matter, because you can take them and actually do something which was never part of what motorsport was about.
No, and it also means that there is no effective down season where you forget what you do as a racing driver. They can be on it 12 months a year, particularly for
like the line through
that
there.
Is
That was good. He got the curb perfectly correct on the entry, and he got it perfectly correct on the exit. Good entry into the final turn 16, off the curb, not running too wide. This ought to be his best lap to date. We've seen it, well, 58.4, we've seen a 59. That to us is the quickest lap we've seen. So times coming down, and that's what, just over 4 seconds away from the times that we saw earlier here today when we had 2 free practice sessions. In fact, the quickest in FP1 was a 154 point something. In FP2 it was 155. So the simulator is coming within a very short space of time for these 4 competitors to within 4 or less seconds of what was achieved for real on the racetrack earlier on today.
What I'd like to know is how many of them have reached down and used the different buttons on the sim steering wheel. How many just going in fresh, as you will, just using the simple controls. Of course, they won't tell each other afterwards. They are racing drivers after all, but there must be many, many little tweaks you can use to just get what you want. But right now, for them, it's about establishing the accuracy of the feel in the sim. And of course, all you sim fans around the world, I know that's how you do it. You fine-tune, you chip away.
I mean, look, they've been put in this cold turkey, so it will be about refinement. And I mean, the more time they spend in the simulator, the more they will make use of all the adjustments that are within. There's a drinks bottle there. I don't think they've got any bottles of wine that they will be refreshing themselves with. Whoa, Michael Schumacher! Oh, bang! Crash, wallop, and there we go. Well, that's about 720 by the looks of it altogether. 720 degrees spin. The one thing I suppose is when you do that on the simulator, your race car, in theory, I don't know, is it damaged or not? It should be damaged. It should be on the back of a wrecker to take it back to the pit.
But it didn't turn into the next corner, maybe. So was it? They're showing us Ezekiel Perez compact. Presumably it was his car that took the battering. But yes, good question, John. How accurate is the level of damage that gets given to the car after a contact? Might see, will he be reporting to the pits to apologise to the team manager? Let's find out.
So he's going to continue on, isn't he? Yes, he is going into the final turn. So that's just an illustration of what can happen. Normally you don't see people losing control up through the Schumacher, particularly on the exit of the Schumacher S's. And but of course, in conditions that can vary, of course, Nürburgring, weather conditions can be extremely variable. Right now, this weekend looks like it's going to be a real, what I would call Indian summer, up on the Ardennes. So maybe slightly offline, maybe a little bit of lack of grip. Just when you get half a wheel offline, you can just suddenly lose the back end of the car.
Yes, early in this session we saw Mirko Bortolotti clouting the curb on the inside. So, but he kept it all together. A quick flick, and he kept it on the straight and narrow. So, just the final 3 or 4 minutes, and then their practice will have come to an end. And then Christian Engelhardt, Mirko Bortolotti, Andrea Caldarelli, and Ezekiel Kompang, the drivers of the 63 and 19 racers, respectively, will go out and they will do a super pole, 1 flying lap each, to show us what they can do. Who has learnt the fastest? So far, the fastest lap we've seen is a 1 minute 58.4, I think it was, from Mirko Bortolotti. That will be beaten, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, the only thing is, can they simulate a brand new set of Pirelli tyres? Can they simulate a low fuel load? Can they simulate all the other little minutiae that they might put into a car for a single fast lap? Or are they just going to go with the sort of out-of-the-box Lamborghini Huracan as it would have turned up in GT3, Blancpain Sprint or endurance condition?
And talking of,
I want the new tyres, Bruce. I don't want any excuse.
You get the new tyres, John.
No, I don't know, but how they're going to give them to these guys.
I was just wondering how accurate it is in terms of if you just saw Ezekiel have a bit of a slide across the gravel into the barriers and continue. But how accurate is it on this if you flat spotted your tyres? They can obviously easily simulate the amount of tyre wear.
Well, they can simulate tyre wear, I have no doubt, but an interesting question.
In a continuum.
Can they simulate a big lock-up where you've got flat spots that make the car steering vibrate so violently? Well, I remember here, way back in the 20s, Kimi Raikkonen coming down here in his McLaren that had so much vibration, the front suspension failed, underbraking at this point, coming into turn one. And the end
going on to the final lap, wasn't it?
Almost into the tyre ball on the outside. That was caused by a severe and aggressive flat spot. He tried to baby the car home and didn't get quite to the end. I mean, it was a very dramatic moment when it occurred.
It was a very gutsy drive, just came up short, and that was right at the sharp end of the field. Anyhow, the final few minutes of practice for our 4 Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini racers out to see who will be top on the left-hand image of your screen. There's Mirko Bortolotti. Now he's got one ear just out from, maybe he prefers not to have as much sound in his head. Maybe he feels it keeps it more natural having one earpiece just off his ear.
I mean,
we all have different tweaks.
I know that I do that if I'm down in the pit lane doing an interview. I need to be able to hear what the driver's saying rather than having it, the two headphones blocking out the reply to a question. They don't keep asking the same question.
No.
So anyway, Mirko's focus and concentration. I mean, I noticed in the real time in his 63 Lamborghini, the depth of concentration that Mirko Bortolotti displays was a revelation to me. And again, you're seeing it here as one would say maybe the lead driver of the all 4 in the 2 Grasser Racing Lamborghini Hurricanes that are here this weekend for the final round of the Blancpain Sprint Championship, part of the overall championship. The final overall will be in Barcelona in 2 weeks' time, which is an endurance round. So a lot up here for the teams to fight for.
Then another look there just with Christian Engelhardt as he comes to the end of his training run. So that's it for us for the moment, and we will come back when it comes to their Super Pole shootout. They will have learnt a lot.
I think they've learned a huge amount, but I tell you what, I don't know what you've learned, Bruce, but I'm just, blown away by the quality and just the ability to create a game which is so accurate to what is real thing.
Well, it'll be interesting to know what the drivers have found out so far. Hopefully we'll hear their thoughts, but they've been very, very intense. Going well.
Now they do the Super Pole.
So,
only 1 lap each driver.
Yes, hello. So far, now we had...
Yeah, it's
okay.
Ah, you can hear me. That's fine. For this time, thanks a lot. And this was 20 minutes of free practice. And now we have only 1 simulator. And now we have simulator number 5. And we have, for all the drivers, for 4 drivers, each 1 hot lap. The hot lap means you begin at the Coca-Cola corner. That's maybe 150 or 200 meters before the start and finish line. One after the other. You can talk about who wants to start, who wants to be second or third or the last guy. And this is the simulator. These are the 4 drivers. A little bit there. Want to have a lot of more air. Was the last 20 minutes easy, or was it a little bit hard in the simulator?
I think it was expensive. I crashed a few times.
Yeah, we all see.
I'm really impressed. First time I tried the game, and I'm really impressed because we just jumped out from the car just 2 hours ago, and it's really similar.
So it's a hard competition. It's not only a joke we are doing here with you. So who wants to start with his one and only hot lap? It's you. Please. This is your simulator. You can take it, but only for this 1 lap. No pressure. Do it slowly. Ollie, what do you think?
I think we have to give some pressure. What's about the slowest one had to invite the other ones for a dinner. Okay, the slowest one has to invite all the others for a dinner. Okay? That's nice. No?
Okay, maybe for one beer, for one small beer, because we're in Germany and no beer today, but on Sunday evening. So they're setting the simulator for this one hot lap. For this one and only hot lap. So Andrea Caldarelli is the first driver who will set the first time on this special hot lap. The other drivers are sitting in the first row. They are smiling. Now you're smiling, then you see his time.
Yeah, now it's blocked, to be honest, but no, I think it's really interesting. I'm looking forward to this shootout. It's you know, it's an internal competition within the team, so.
This is the Grasser racing car. You compete tomorrow and on Sunday. And now the first driver, Mr. John Watson, please.
So first one to roll is Andrea Caldarelli now, as Mirko Bortolotti turned the traction control off when he got out of that car earlier, but certainly from the outset, coming down to start-finish line, John Watson, ready all the way. Will he be fastest come the end?
Well, he was a little bit wide coming out of turn 16, so he would have compromised to a small degree his speed down the pit straight, but here into turn 1, critical to get the nose of the Lamborghini into that apex. Pretty good exit, runs wide, but that's perfectly acceptable. Now balancing the car, steering and throttle through turn 2, it goes on and on and on, and then you've sort of got to wind the car back in again to get into turn 3, which is really, I said earlier, about getting the car prepared for this corner, turn 4, to get a good exit speed. Runs pretty wide on the exit, but there's no downside other than it's a bit further in distance.
Did you see that little message? Your lap is not valid, you've cut the track. I think they'll let him keep going. All the drivers go wide out of that corner. We saw them all in their practice runs. That's what they do on the race circuit, and that's why it's realistic. And we'll see if he gets given the wrong flag at the end.
The difference between doing it in practice, now doing it one lap only, is there's been 2 errors so far from Andrea Caldarelli that we have seen. So this lap may not actually, in terms of overall lap time, match those that he's done in that 20-minute practice session. He needs to calm down. A very quick turn as he enters the Schumacher S's, very quick left turn, snatching on the wheel, settles the car down on the exit. Now the climb up the hill, up into turns 10, 11. Careful not to run too wide, runs wide on 11, then coming through 12. Got to get the nose of the car in, runs way, way, way wide. This lap time ain't going to do Andrea an awful lot of favours, other than if all other 3 competitors make a similar kind of lap.
Yeah, well, we talked, John, about the value of new tyres. It has been a little bit of a scrappy lap, but we'll see how the others get to perform. The target time should be best we saw so far in practice was 1 minute 58.4 seconds. Afraid this is going to be, I think, just the wrong side of the 2-minute mark. Into the final corner again, the front washing wide. Andrea having to readjust as he went around onto the start finish straight. What's it going to be, John? Over 2 minutes?
It's going to be 2-2, 2-3. Well, it's 2 minutes flat, so the start finish line slightly further towards the exit of turn 16. I mean, the difference of doing a qualifying lap in a simulator actually is not a huge difference from doing it on the racetrack again. Now runs way, way wide and he's going to be flagged off. It's a difficult scenario. It's the first time he's done a proper qualifying run in a simulator with so little experience. And I know that all the others watching, they will have learned something. And I think what they will have learned is try not to overdrive. That was the thing that I felt Andrea did in the early phase of his one single flying lap, was maybe trying to push too hard, and in doing so then losing so much time. So Christian Engelhardt getting in behind the wheel, I'm assuming he's a bright lad. He'll hopefully have picked up a little bit of what was happening to Andrea Caldarelli, and he will make those adjustments. wait and see. I mean, I might be entirely wrong. I might be doing a disservice to Andrea. I might be bigging up Christian because he's had that opportunity to watch one guy go.
I think it's got to be an advantage, but they're all teammates, know each other very well. They have their own internal competition. Of course they do. But look at the focus starting to come on. Look at those amazing graphics that Christian Engelhardt is looking at on the main screen.
Look
His
at
time is kicking off.
Look at the determination on his face. I mean, this is a game, but it ain't a game to these four guys. Watch the exit to see if he can make a cleaner exit. Much better, much better. He's got more speed even at this part before he starts the clock ticking. So down the hill, all the way up in fifth gear, hard on the brakes in a moment, then get that nose in. Oh, unstable under braking, and that looks like, he missed the apex completely and had to get out of the throttle and get the car back into a position to be able to take the exit without running off track.
Very interesting there, looking, again, we keep talking about the driver's focus, but Christian didn't let that phase him. He had to get into the next bit of the corner.
Down to first gear as well, and everybody else has been in second. So is that a change that was done, a nervous change, just simply putting the lever? Don't need to take first gear in turn 4 in my view, or certainly in turn 3.
Well, he might have seen that message that came on the screen. Andrea Caldarelli ran wide at that point, saw the thing that said your lap time has been invalidated. He stayed within the confines there, got the power down, faster acceleration, but he was in the lower gear, so counter exactly the same thing, down to the hairpin at the bottom point of the hill. We saw a few of the drivers having real problems here in practice, but that is a very, very tidy line.
Yeah, got the nose in correctly and kept the nose in and then let the car sweep out on the exit. Now up the hill into Schumacher, watch the nose, rides the curve on the inside, rides the curve on the exit, but gets through with speed and cleanness. So the early part of the lap, good on the exit out onto pit straight, a little bit not so good in the middle of that 2-3 sector. Now back, and the rhythm is developing. Christian Engelhardt, I will be surprised if this lap is not a quicker lap than the one we've seen from Andrea Caldarelli just a moment ago.
I think so too. At the top of the hill, before we go down and drop before the kink, you could see the car wanted to turn in or was able, but when Andrea Caldarelli was there, the front was washing away and he really had to fight it. Saw far too much of the gravel on the left-hand side. But up to the final corner, John, I don't know what your prediction's going to be. I think a 1 minute 58. I
think certainly it's at least a full second quicker. But, you know, as we're sitting here in the commentary booth, we're even further detached from reality. So 158.4, good lap by Christian Engelhardt. That's 2 seconds in effect quicker than we saw from Andrea. And he's actually taken 6th gear. First time I've seen, I think, 6th gear pulled, runs the curb and runs the grass coming down into turn 1, and he's come to a standstill. So his run's over. He'll be happy with 158.4. Good effort indeed. So who will be next? We've got either Ezequiel Perez Compact, who is the co-driver with Andrea Caldarelli, or Mirko Bortolotti. It looks like it's going to be Ezequiel going to go 3rd, and then ultimately Mirko Bortolotti, who, if you're a betting man, Bruce, how much would you put on Mirko going quicker than his co-driver in the 63 Lamborghini, Christian Engelhardt?
All difficult. Of your money.
Now, I don't have much with me, but actually, you know, it's very easy to think because Christian went 2nd, he's therefore going to be automatically beaten by Mirko. That was a good lap.
It was a very good lap, and as you said, all the drivers after Andrea Caldarelli were watching Caldarelli's lap. Now Ezequiel Perez Compact, Bortolotti have watched Christian's lap. They watch, they learn, and they hope they can deliver. But what we really saw was you don't want to push too hard into the final corner to start your flying lap. You've got to have a nice tidy turn in.
Ezequiel Perez Compact is, I would say, one of the drivers over the past year and a bit who's really stepped forward. He's grown in confidence, his ability has developed as well. So he is, of the 4 drivers, the one who started from maybe at the lower threshold in a professional motor racing career. Now watch what he does. He takes a very wide entry, then cuts back to make the exit as clean as possible. Good thinking from Ezequiel Perez Compact to make the beginning of a lap as clean as possible. He's holding 5th gear. Will he take 6th gear down? Depends what the rev. He's just getting into the red on the rev counter, but he's going to hold it down to 4th, 2nd. Gets the car in, the nose in. Good entry, good exit. Leaves a bit of space on the outside, doesn't overrun on the exit. Now, his hands, elbows and everything, but he held it. For an Argentinian driver who only knows sunshine, that was a great save.
Nonsense, that's how they drive in Buenos Aires. But this is a circuit where he really had his breakthrough a couple of years ago. I think he took pole position here for Blancpain round that year. But that's okay. He's taken the wide line through turn 4. Again, the message comes up, lap not valid. Carry on, Ezekiel. Look quick, but I'd like to see a replay of those fighting hands up as he was in the Mercedes arena, and it all looks like he's heading for the gravel.
Yeah, he did a very good job actually keeping the car pointing in the right direction. So he's back once again down through the exit of turn 6 down the hill, and you can breathe momentarily, then hard on the brakes, get the nose in, don't try and go in too quickly. Good entry, good exit, very much in the vein that we saw 1 lap ago from Christian Engelhardt. Now up the hill, and this is an off-camber entry into the Schumacher chicane. Doesn't run the curve on the inside, just a little bit on the exit, so good run through. Now the climb up the hill and into turn 11.
Yeah, that was a much smoother run through the S's there than we saw from Christian Engelhardt, who hit the curb on both sides, but Engelhardt has the fastest time so far. Will that mistake in the Mercedes arena where we saw Ezekiel's hands spinning like crazy, put in front, but we can see the shadow, which is clearly Engelhardt's car, the green target, not catching, if anything, that's just slightly pulling away, so the better entry to the top of the hill. Oh, it's gone red.
Oh, and that's not going to help either. I mean, look, even he's laughing at it because he knows that for real, that he's blown it. Probably blew it down at turn 3 and again, just in the exit, just slapping it, you know, one way, then the other way under the throttle. So 159.2.
Good lap considering, but he did take a shorter route.
Yeah, yes, he did 0.8 of a second away. So the potential for a quick lap from Ezekiel Perez compact clearly very much there. Now, final run will be with Mirko Bortolotti. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to beat his own teammate. He saw what Ezekiel did, and there were lots of arms and elbows, and probably off and on the throttle. We can't get the sort of the simulated engine note. But watch Mirko getting in. He'll make probably a few little further adjustments to get the steering, to get everything the way he wants, to be comfortable. I did it today in my rental car leaving Frankfurt, and it is actually very important. It makes a big difference, because if you're comfortable in the car and all the controls are precisely where you want them, not somebody else's, and you jump in and you throw the keys at them and let them drive the car. So Mirko will maybe want to make a little adjustment or 3. I'm assuming he's done that. Maybe not. It doesn't look like he's doing too much.
What tunes do you reckon he's got in his headphones?
What tunes? He likes house.
House, does he?
Whatever that is, he likes it. He'd asked him once in the grid.
I remember.
He walks around with the cans on and he's listening to whatever. I said, what are you listening to? I mean, is it something, you know, proper black rock, or, you know, maybe old 70s Genesis, Pink Floyd, you know, whatever.
It was whale music, wasn't it?
I asked him, was it whale? I thought he was getting sort of in the groove.
Yeah. Well, he is now. Look at him. Yeah. Check the motion in the seats. This isn't play. This is life or death. Mirko Bortolotti. Will he be the fastest of the Grasser quartet?
He will be a disappointed.
A big go. Right, just going to run through the times. Under record already, 2 minutes and 0.6 seconds. Christian Engelhardt, 1 minute 58.4. Ezekiel Perez compact, 1 minute 59.2. So into the setup corner, if you will, onto the start-finish straight comes the fourth of 4 Lamborghini drivers. It's Mirko Bortolotti. Watch the eyes. He's blinking. That's because he hasn't crossed the start-finish line. Now he has no blinks from here.
No, and a little look down at the controls just to see what the reading was giving him out. So on the brakes into turn 1, needs to get that nose in, get it in tight to the curve, runs slightly wide in the exit, gets back again to the right-hand side before you draw the car into this never-ending turn 3. And the car kind of gets light in the exit, and then before you know it, and all of a sudden, and it is all over for Mirko. Not quite, but look, you can see how far behind he is already from the time that was set by his teammate.
But again, that was Christian Engelhardt's car. You
Yeah.
can see the green thing, and he was the only one that stayed within the parameters of the circuit at turn 4. I wonder when it goes red, what we're seeing.
There's no
So
doubt.
red means it's getting away, and green means you're catching it.
I don't know what, I assume it is that. Anyway, there is what we believe to be Christian Engelhardt's apparent car, which would be the best part of maybe at this point a second. Now watch what happens from Mirko. I mean, pretty good, I have to say. Nothing I would want to change about his entry and exit out of turn 7, now up the hill. Watch how much curb he takes on the entry into the Schumacher chicane. Rides it quite heavily and rides it again on the exit out of, so 7 and 8, and then up the hill through 9, then on the brakes.
Okay, red means you're catching it, probably because it's braking. Green means it's pulling away.
So the gap between the two maybe coming back fractionally. But the problem is the time that Christian Engelhardt set was set early in the lap, and now it's going to be almost impossible with what's 3 corners remaining for Mirko Bortolotti to do anything about clawing back, and he might not even manage to equal the time that of Ezekiel Perez compact.
I think he might even be slightly behind Andrea already, but again, he looks like he's closed up at the final corner, super tight right on the start for this straight, and I'm afraid one messy corner. Looking around, so Christian Engelhardt's back, there were no mistakes, and that's why he's the fastest of the quartet. 1 minute 59.79 seconds, so bronze medal for Mirko Bortolotti.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed, as will everybody except Christian Engelhardt, who
Ezekiel Perez compact second
time.
fastest, and the fastest Christian Engelhardt. Congratulations to Christian on home ground.
Well, it's the 63 car pairing that have won, so they'll be jointly happy with that. But I mean, it just goes to show that actually what you do in real time in the real race car and what you do in the simulator, while it can overlap, it is so easy to overdrive. And you know, Mirko Bortolotti does not make those errors when he's driving the race car, but doing it in the simulator, it's a matter of making that adaptation and adjustment to get the best out of the simulator.
Well, I think it was also, we saw earlier in the practice, 1 minute 58.4. So that's it from us in the commentary box from Bruce Jones and John Watson. Back up to the main stage, and congratulations, drivers.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Come on, Ollie.
And Lars, I think we still have got a winner. And Marco, would you please come as the, I would say, brand director from Assetto Corsa? And the winner is Christian Engelhardt.
Yes, give a big hand. Christian, well done. Your first competition on Friday.
Congratulations.
And on second position, Ezequiel Perez, come on. And, okay, compact. Second position, but with the best smile in the simulator. And the best chicane I've ever seen. And on third position, Andrea Caldarelli. No? Ah, Mirko's lap was not valid. He smashed the car, 1 million. Okay, come on, together.
I think both of them have third place.
Grasser Racing.
But the main important thing, was it amazing?
Yeah, I really didn't expect. It was very, like, congratulations for the game, because it's very realistic. Yeah, I was very impressed about it.
Okay, but Mirko, tomorrow you will not have so many crashes like today.
Hopefully not. That's not the goal. Yeah. Christian was quicker today. That's not good. So tomorrow we'll have revenge.
Tomorrow it's good for me. No, it's great. Thanks to you guys for doing this, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And yeah, happy to be here.
So in the real car, you're smiling like this, we've seen?
Yeah, of course. When I'm in the car, it's like I'm enjoying, and you could see it here. Every time I get behind the wheel, it's like, yeah, smile goes up, and yeah, always pushing, like in the chicane.
Okay, thanks to Grasser Racing, boys. Enjoy the weekend at the Nürburgring during the Blancpain series. Thanks to Marco Masaruto for this brand new simulation.
Thank you very
want,
much.
we see tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., 9 o'clock in the morning, and I think we end this day with one more small commercial break. Thanks, take care, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Goodbye.